All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about doing some practice drawings for this still life. And you're going to get a piece of computer paper that I want you to fold in half. It doesn't have to be perfect because, again, this is a practice drawing. And this will allow you to have basically 4 different sides that you can work on. And so this is going to be the still life that we are drawing. And for the practice drawing, we want to draw things as large as possible on this little practice paper, and this is the area that we're working in. There are 3 things that you need to think about when you're working on a still life, and one of them is placement. As far as what is closer to you is going to be lower on the paper. What's further away is going to be higher on the paper, so it's going to be up here more. You want to think about overlapping, what is in front of other things, and you want to think about proportions. Now, proportions is height to width. So when I'm drawing this little jar right here, it's obviously taller than it is wide. So when I draw it, I want to make sure I have it taller than it is wide. So as I begin this is going to be kind of a quick sketch because we're practicing and we're also figuring out where do things go on the paper. And so I'm even going to hold my pencil like this to do some real quick sketching here. And I'm going to start with the 2 largest things on the paper. And as I said before, this is going to take up most of the paper. So I'm going to start with this cup up here and say, okay, I know that it's going to be about this high for the top of it. The bottom of it's going to be down here just a little bit. And you notice I'm starting with very simple shapes. And so with the cup here, I'm going to go ahead and kind of place it in right about here. I've got this bowl, which I've already I've already positioned things so the bowl's going to run off the paper. And that's not all bad. I'm going to start with one where it's so big that things are running off and then I can change it later. So the bowl, top of it is here. You know what? I'm already finding out the bowl should have been a little bigger or a little bit higher up, but that's okay. That's what this practice is for. And so then I'm going to come down and around it a little bit, put it here, and I've got the little pedestal thing inside of it. And you can do some erasing later. I've got the lemon right here, which again, because I've gone so big already, the lemon is running off the paper or it's right on the very edge. And then if I'm looking at this, I can see that the jar is obviously further away and behind, so it's probably going to be like right about here. I'm just going to kind of sketch in some what I think are the shapes, and I can change it later. We're going to actually be doing this on some much bigger paper, and it's just kind of a nice start is to figure out what the shapes are and where they go and what's in front of other things. Now I can see right now that I think this is probably overlapping this more, but for my first sketch that's okay. I'm going to say, hey, leave it right here. And then as my daughter just said, there is the flower back here that I need to put in, so I'm going to kind of sketch this. And obviously your drawings may take a little bit longer time, but I do want you to think in terms of this being a quick sketch. You're going to take about 10 minutes on this. And 10 minutes may include okay, this isn't bad, but now I'm going to try it where I'm going to go a little bit smaller. I know that that was too big. So maybe I'm going to start with this bowl right here and put more of it on the paper. And so you get the idea. I'm going to just do like 2 different sketches here and kind of plan out, okay, smaller means more can fit on the paper, but I still have to look at placement, overlapping, and proportion. So this next one, yep, we'll see if we like it better with more things on the paper. Again, everything should be basically touching the edges or possibly even running off the edges. This is what we're going to do for 10 minutes at the beginning of class. And then the other video that you're going to watch is where we work on our pastels. And so this is our second video that you'll be watching in about 10 or 15 minutes using the pastels. So we're going to do one little shot of the still life. And so this image right here is going to be left on the screen. And this is what you will be using to draw for the first 10 minutes of class. Have fun.